Hey guys, it's Mr. Schmidt here, and in this video we're going to talk about something called marginal analysis. So the idea of marginal analysis is comparing marginal benefits with marginal costs to determine the optimal amount of times something should be done. So this is very much related to cost-benefit analysis we did in the last video. But with that we were looking at total benefit and total cost. Whereas here we're looking at marginal benefit and marginal cost. This word marginal is going to pop up a lot of times in this economics course you're taking, and it basically means one more, right? If I do something one more time, what's the benefit of doing that? If I do something one more time, what's the cost of doing that? You're going to encounter that word marginal again and again and again, and your ability to be successful on the AP microeconomics exam is going to be directly dependent upon your understanding of that word marginal, how to define it, how to calculate it, which we'll do in a minute. So let's go ahead and define those terms, marginal benefit and marginal cost. So marginal benefit, which we often just call MB, is the additional benefit from doing something one more time, right? If I do something that next time, how much additional benefit? What do I gain by doing something one more time? And then the opposite is marginal cost, or MC, and that is the additional cost of doing something one more time. So if I do something one more time, how much more is it going to cost me? So remember that marginal benefit is actually the change in total benefit. That's really what the word marginal means. It's a change. It's how much you're changing from one time to the next. And again, we'll do an example in a minute. And then marginal cost is the change in total cost. So those two terms, those pairings, are very much related. Okay? And so with that in mind, an activity should be done so long as the marginal benefit is greater than or equal to the marginal cost. Because, I mean, think about it. If the marginal benefit of doing some activity was $7, but the marginal cost of doing it one more time was $10, why would you do that activity that next time? It's costing you more than it's benefiting you, so you shouldn't do it. Whereas if the marginal cost was only $3, then it would make sense to do it because you're gaining more than you're losing. So the last thing I want to do here is just go through an example of how to calculate it. So what you might be given is a table like this, and you're given, the number of times an activity might be done. So something like 1, 2, or 3 times. Okay, and we'll do this here. And then you're going to be given the total benefit. Okay, so maybe it's 10, and then it's 20, and then it's $25. Okay, that's the total benefit of doing those activities that many times, right? So then it'll ask, okay, so what's the marginal benefit? So the marginal benefit is the change in total benefit. Remember, the marginal is always the change in the total. The marginal is always the change in the total, okay? So if I go from not doing the activity at all to doing it one time, what do I gain? Well, I gain $10. If I go from doing the activity one time to doing it the second time, what do I gain? Well, I go from $10 to $20, so what did I gain? I gained $10. And then if I do it a third time, if I go from 20 to 25, what do I gain? I gain $5. Okay? And then, we could do the same. We could actually extend this even further, and we could say, okay, now that I'll give you total cost of doing it the 3 times. So maybe it's 8 and then 16 and then 40. And again, I just made up some numbers here. And then it says, okay, what's the marginal cost? Well, doing it from no times to one time, what do I gain in terms of cost? $8. Okay. What about when I go from 1 to 2 times? Well, again, that's $8. And then what about when I go from 2 to 3 times? 40 minus 16, I gain a cost of $40. Or 14. Actually, sorry, that's not 14, it's 24. Helps if I can do math. So I gain 24 more dollars in cost. And so then the last thing you might be asked is, okay, so how many times should this activity be done? Remember, the rule is do it as many times until the marginal benefit is no longer greater than the marginal cost. They need to be equal, right? So you stop at where they're equal or the last time marginal benefit is greater. And that happens at the second time. Okay, because marginal benefit is 10, marginal cost is 8. That's marginal benefit is still higher than marginal cost, but when I go to the third time, marginal benefit is 5, marginal cost is 24. So it would not make sense to do this activity a third time because it's costing me way more than it's benefiting me. So again, you need to know what the word marginal means, additional one more, that marginal is always the change in the total, and then how to calculate it, and being able to compare marginal benefits and marginal costs to determine the optimal amount of times something should be done. So that's all for this video on marginal analysis. Until next time, have a great day.